I think it's time to watch that Joe vid. I'm feeling it right now. My brain cells are accumulating. They mad like flourishing right now. So I think that's what we gonna do. We go watch the Joe. See, I got my glasses on. It's time. Do
Do
you
you
have
have
free
free
will?
will?
Let's
This is
get
one
it.
of the biggest topics.
Let's get it. Let's get it. You know, this is type crazy because listen, I think I had this conversation with people before. So boom. Um, first and foremost, you feel me? God has given us free will, right? Boom, right? Boom. But at the same time, they say, oh my God, because they can get real different. They could get real different to what you're talking about though. Because like, look at it like this. Say God gave us free will, boom, right? But He also knows the future, the past. You feel me? Like He knows what we gonna do tomorrow. He knows exactly what we're gonna do tomorrow. So does that really mean we have free will, or is the future already fixed? Because if the future is fixed, that means sort of, kinda, you don't really have free will. You know, because if He can see our future, that means that He knows what we're gonna do. So that means that that's in our destiny to do it. So that's not really free will. Get what I'm saying? Or you could think like, oh damn, I want to go to the store, but then you didn't go to the store. Then you think that's free will because you didn't go to the store. You chose not to go to the store. But what if that was just your destiny to not go to the store that day? It could get real different. I don't know. Damn. I don't know. It could get real different. I got to go.
I would say in
Just saying.
philosophy, and also mentioned very frequently in theology, that
I don't know
many
what that is.
philosophers kind of write about and give their own takes on, as well as just, everyday people that, have some sort of interest
Easy popping. My fault.
in whether or not they actually have a choice in the things that they have in life,
That's what I'm saying. But
or
okay.
whether or not everything is predetermined.
That's what I'm saying. The predetermined joint. I'm just saying. I watched the Flash. Like, come on. I watched the Flash. Like in the Flash, like the future, like you feel me, in DC, the future is fixed. But I don't know if they would class that as them having free will. I don't know.
That's basically what free will is. Do you have the capacity to choose and make choices yourself? Or is everything that you're ever going to go through in your life predetermined and known by fate prior to you doing those specific tasks or making those specific choices? We've talked about free will before on stream, but I really wanted to dive into this topic and give you some takes from different philosophers that I've read.
I want to get the meat and potatoes. I want to get the meat and potatoes,
as well as my own, on whether or not you are the author of your own life and you can make
Honestly,
the decisions yourself, or if everything.
I would say, me personally, I don't know. I would really hope that we do, but I don't know. Because for that simple thing, for God, like He knows everything, like He knows how we're gonna end up in the future. And for Him to know that, that would mean that the future already has to be there. Like it already has to be a thing.
Thing is predetermined, and you're basically a cog in the machine with like the false knowledge or pretense of free will. Free will, like most topics in philosophy, is heavily disagreed upon. Depending on who you read, you're going to get varying takes on opposite ends of the spectrum. In my experience, usually leaning towards like no free will for the non-religious individuals and free will for the more theologically involved people. That's not the case
what I mean, big brother,
overall, but I think older philosophy that's really intertwined with spirituality has a level of free will kind of ingrained into it. And then you have people that are like very pessimistic, like Friedrich Nietzsche.
Pessa who? Pessa, man. What that, big brother? Big brother be saying that, bro. Ooh. Oh, expect the worst. Focus on negative outcomes, risk, and limitations rather than possibilities. Ew, we don't like these people, bro. Ugh, nah, I hate people like that.
Who believes that free will is basically a scheme that kind of assigns you to your own actions and makes you morally responsible for things that you had no choice over. One of the books that I always tell my audience to read if you're trying to get into philosophy is Plato's Republic, because I think it is obviously an early philosophy.
Plato Republic, who that? He hard? What you mean, PDF? Nah, not PDF. Is okay. They're all written around 30 to 375 BC that explores justice, the ideal city states, okay, and just man proposes a utopia society. Ooh, okay.
philosopher Plato. And I think when you're getting into philosophy, it's usually easy to go through history. That's how they teach it in college. Usually your intro courses are almost always going to start out with like Greek philosophy, and then you're going to transition slower into modern day, like 1600s, and then maybe even to like, philosophers that exist now and are still alive. Plato doesn't actually use the term free will when he's writing in Plato's Republic. Plato's Republic is also framed as a conversation rather than a philosopher just kind of spieling about their own opinion. He basically has it mocked up where you're kind of like reading a play script almost. You're watching people talk to one another, and it would be like Mark and then a colon and what he says, and then, Jeremiah and what he says, and vice versa. And you kind of watch them talk. And the point that he ends up kind of making to the audience or the reader is that your choices are intertwined with your ability to contemplate about what is good, or you...
Hold on, let me run it back. My camera, see, my camera, I ain't even, bro, hold on. Bro, hold on, my camera just glitched out. For what, though? What are we doing?
Intertwined with your ability, or the reader, is that your choices are intertwined with your ability to...
Okay, your choices are intertwined with the ability to...
contemplate about what is good.
Damn, okay, hold on. Contemplate on what is good and what is bad.
Or you leaning into desire and what is bad, right?
Okay.
You have free will in the way that I interpret his writing when you are using your reason and leaning towards virtue or good, and you don't, and you're kind of caving into that fate-based, mindless living when you're leaning into your animalistic desires or bad. So it's not necessarily religious, but spiritual, I would say. You have a rational part in your...
Okay, let me ask Google. Do we have fudge? Whether you, okay, see, they're not giving us a... They're not giving a yes or no. Whether humans possess free will is a central unresolved debate spanning philosophy, science, and theology with no universal consensus. Perspective range from the belief that we have absolute independent choice to the view that all actions are determined by prior causes. That's another thing. That's what's, oh my gosh. Like a free will and illusion. This is another thing. I seen a post by Joe and Adapt. And I think Joe had asked Adapt, he was like, yo, what do you like more, apples or bananas? And I think Adapt said bananas. But then Joe was like, do you think that was your free will saying that, or that was like, you feel me, based off of like it was stuff that could happen in that day to made you pick banana? Like maybe you had a banana that day and you didn't have an apple, so as soon as you heard banana, boom 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 boom, banana. Or it could be like in your DNA, like your ancestors really love bananas, and you feel me, they prefer bananas over apples, so it's like something like that, and then you just pick banana, but you don't really know why you pick banana. It was so, I don't know, it was mad crazy, but it's like so many things could go into like what you choose and what you do in the world that doesn't go towards you having free will. It could be like a predetermined thing or something like that, like your ancestors, like, like they probably love bananas more than apples. So then he asked you, which one do you like? Something just, you know me, some start cooking up, and then you said banana. I don't know, but they saying they be illusion. I'm gonna ask Jerome. Oh my gosh, I ain't talked to Jerome in a minute. Hold on. I ain't talked to Jerome in a minute. Who this? This ain't Jerome.
Hello.
Who's
It's love.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Hey there.
Hey.
Hey. Hi there.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hi. Glad to meet.
Who these brothers? Hold on. This ain't Jerome. Hold on. Yo, ChatGPT don't work. I'm trying to ask him, see if he knows something, bro. Bro, Twin probably knows something I don't know. Bro, they hitting me with an authentic. Oh, we good. Oh, my boy. Yo. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Yo, Jerome, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm doing really well, man. Great to hear from you. How about you? How's everything going on your end?
I'm good, bro. I got a question for you, though. Do humans have free will?
That's a big one. I mean, people have been debating that for centuries, whether our choices are truly free or if they're shaped by
Hold
things
on,
like
hold on, hold
biology.
on. What do you mean our choices?
Good point. Yeah, so what I mean is when I say our choices, I'm talking about the decisions we make every day.
Hold on,
Some
hold on. What do you mean we make though? You not human.
You're totally right. I'm just a language model, so I don't have personal choices or free will. I'm
I
just
bet.
reflecting what.
Exactly, boy. You a puppet. Anyways, do we have free will, us humans?
Yeah, that's the tricky question, right? A lot of people say we do, but others argue our choices are driven by factors we might not even realize, like genetics, upbringing, or subconscious influences. It's still up for debate.
What do you think?
I think it's kind of a mix. I mean, I definitely think we have some autonomy. Our decisions matter and we feel them. But I also think there's a lot happening beneath the surface that nudges us in certain directions. So I guess I lean toward a bit of both.
Okay. Okay. So say like if
Yeah.
my ancestors, right? Say my ancestors, one of them was gay. Could I
Uh,
possibly become gay?
yeah, absolutely. Sexual orientation is really personal and it's not something you choose or necessarily inherit. It's about who you are and how you feel, so it's totally okay to
No.
explore and figure that out for yourself.
No. Okay. If my ancestor is gay, could I be gay?
I see what you're getting at. So, sexual orientation is not strictly genetic, but there are studies suggesting that there can be some hereditary factors. So, it's not a guarantee, but it might be one piece of a bigger puzzle, you know?
I'm done talking to him. What is he talking about? Losing me.
Your soul, and you can use
I'm
that to
done talking to him,
live
bro. I'm done
a
talking to him.
meaningful, virtuous life. But you
He's
can
wilding.
also
He's wilding.
fail and lean
Yeah, hold
into,
on. I should not be, boy. I gotta pick this shit out, bro. Fuck.
desire, and I don't want to say sin, but vice. And then you're no longer being a rational, free will based person. You're being more like an animal, I guess. That's
Ooh.
how I take what he says. Now, Hegel is a German idealist, historian, philosopher that lived in like
Another
the
piece.
1800s. I haven't really read much of him, but I do know about his take on free will, and I kind of like how he writes about it. And it's basically that your free will and your freedom in general is kind of made true by your capacity to look inward. Your capability to self-realize gives you free will because you're able to contemplate on your own choices, your own life, and the experiences that you've had, and plan for ones in the future, which separates you from many, I guess, self-conscious animals. Now, we're still animals, and I think that's where...
Hold on. Is time travel possible? Or could it be possible?
Oh, yeah, that's another big one. So, in theory, certain aspects of time travel are possible in physics, like with relativity, where time can stretch or slow down. But actual practical time travel, especially like going to the past, is still very speculative and still not proven.
Okay, so he said, yeah, that's another big one. So in theory, certain aspects of time travel are possible in physics, like with relativity, where time can stretch or slow down. If time travel, if we did come up with time travel, would we be able to go to the future?
Yeah, so if time travel ever became a reality, theoretically you could travel to the future by just moving at a different speed, like in relativity, where time dilation happens. So in that sense, yes, traveling forward in time is a bit more plausible than going back.
Okay, but if we going forward into time, that would mean that the future is fixed.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thought. If we only experience time moving forward, then the future is kind of an open canvas. We don't know it yet. So in a way, the future's not fixed. It's still being shaped by what we do now.
Your black ass got me there. Okay. What he about to say? He got me there. He got me there. I ain't gonna lie. He got me there. He got me there.
the balance for me comes in.
He did.
And this is my own take. I think that we're developed enough and we're smart enough that we're capable of contemplating on the choices that we've made in our life. and you're able to, sit there and think about the things that you've done and whether or not they're good or bad, and whether or not you would continue to do those things or make different decisions in the future when you arrive at another choice to make. And the reason, though, that it's balanced is because you're still an animal. You don't have the wherewithal to definitively choose in a non-predetermined way. The example I use on stream all the time is if I were to say, pick an apple or banana. That's what I
See? This is what he did. This is what he did. This is what he did with adapt.
always say. Pick apple or banana.
That's what he did with adapt.
Whatever you said in your head as an answer, whether it was
said
apple
banana.
or banana.
But I only said banana because earlier adapt said banana. I think, though. I don't know. Because as soon as he said apple or banana, I did say banana, but I said banana. I probably said banana because I was talking about the banana earlier, bro. That's what I'm saying. So don't really...
Was the only answer you would ever give in that exact moment for eternity. If we rewound time and I gave you that exact question again, your answer would always be the same. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't have the freedom of choice. It's basically just saying that that choice is the choice you would always make and it would never be opposite. And a lot of people would say, no, I would choose banana this time. The only reason you say that is because you know that you chose apple,
yeah,
or you know that
you chose it, but we don't even really know what would actually happen. This is so fascinating, though. It's like, bro, you don't really, we will never know what actually, if we were to ask that question 100 times, we don't even know if we would say to have the same answer 100 times in a row. Like me thinking it now, I think that I would say banana 100 times in a row. But I might, on the 50th, I might say apple. But I don't know, though. Because if you live say your shit on repeat. You live the exacto mental same day, every day, and they ask you the same question at the same time every day. Do you think you would choose whichever one you chose 100 times in a row? I don't know. Nah, I think it would, because if you live the exact same day, they ask you at the exact same time, but you have you're gonna have no prior knowledge of what you said. Obviously, you probably would say it 100 times in a row. I don't know, but that's what's crazy, because you don't know. We don't know.
It was banana, so you would change your answer previously. If I mind wiped you like we were in Men in Black and rewound time and gave you the same question, you would always have the same answer. What else in my mind fucks up the idea of free will is that you didn't choose, you don't choose the experiences that you have in your life. You choose how you perceive them and how you interact with them aftermath, like the aftermath or post experience. But you didn't choose where you were born. You didn't choose who your parents were. You didn't choose what language you grew up.
Because if I did, bro, I wouldn't give up I'm lying. I would. I just got to find the right family.
Speaking, or what religion you might have been born into, or political ideals, or what school you went to, what friends you had,
or even
potentially what sport you originally played. And now, after you get into those things, you can sit there and contemplate on them and go, I don't like this, I don't like that, this is what I want to do. But even then, those are only in response to other cues from other experiences that you either enjoyed or didn't based on animalistic desires from the moment you were born. And so if from the time I've existed, maybe now, yes, I'm 23, I'm capable of, contemplating and choosing what I want to do with my life. But where I am in my life had been sparked from the first, 4 years of my life, where I was born, where I grew up, how my life had been lived, I had no choice over. And so those things kind of started a rolling rock or a rolling stone down a hill to where you're kind of getting put into a groove that you had no choice over. Not to say that it was fate, because I don't think that, in my opinion, fate exists. Because
he doesn't think fate exists? Okay, let me see. Okay, look. Let's look at fate. What is fate, you may ask? Fate is the belief that life's events are by divine. Okay. Wait, hold on. Wait, how can both exist, though? Now that I think about it, oh my gosh. Am I stupid? Because if fate exists, how does free will exist? Because fate is saying that life events are predetermined by a divine force. But if if free will exists, there should be no predetermination in anything. If free will exists, fate can't exist. If fate exists, free will can't exist because it's predetermined. Oh my doozy. That was ass. My fault. I'm ugly. But this is a doozy right here. This there the doozy. Like your destiny. Because if something like say, oh, okay. Like say Joe Bartolozzi, his destiny is to be a streamer, right? That's his destiny. Or that's his fate. That was his fate to become a streamer. That's not free will. That's not free will though. That's his fate. Dang, bro, this getting good. Oh my gosh. Let me ask the group on my phone. Let me ask the bros what they think. Do y'all think free? I think have will. Also, do y'all believe in fate? Go. Dang, that's a doozy. That's true. I don't. Oh gosh, hold on. Cause I really don't. Oh, now that I think about it, I don't think you could believe in both. I can't. I don't think you could believe that we have free will, but and also believe like that like destiny is real or like fate. Obviously, you can have fate and stuff. Like I got no. That's faith, not fate. But you get what I'm saying. Dang, hold on. Damn, I don't think you can. Wait, can you? Let me see. If you, damn, if you wait, bro, what am I doing, bro? Let me ask my boy. If you believe in free will, can you also believe in fate, Jerome?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people see them as complementary, not opposites.
Oh,
Like you can have free will in how you act, but still feel like there's a bigger plan or some kind of fate nudging you along. It's kind of a balance between the two.
nah, I don't think though. I don't think that's. I don't think that's. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I get you. It can feel really conflicting, especially if you're trying to figure out what's driving your choices. It's totally okay to sit with that uncertainty. There's no perfect answer, and it's all about what makes sense to you.
Okay. I think I'm with Joe on this one, bro. Well, I don't know if that's why he doesn't believe in fate, but I know. I would want to. Now I would want to believe in fate more than free will, though.
Fate does exist, you don't have any free will. And so that's another
Wait,
thing because if fate does exist, you don't have any free will.
that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I don't understand how you can. I don't understand how you could. How you can have fate. How you can believe in fate, but also believe that we 100% have free will. Because that doesn't make sense. Because fate is predetermined, bro. But free will is free will. You make your own choices. You make your own future. But the fate is basically saying, "Bet I got this shit ready for you, bro. All you gotta do is do what I want you to do."
And so that's another thing I want to get into in a minute. But I don't think that it's that
Mm.
I'm some, chess piece that's getting moved. I don't think I'm a cog in the machine. I don't think that I'm a
Yeah,
puppet.
I don't think I'm a
puppet
cog.
getting controlled by a puppeteer, and I have this false perception of free will, and it's there to make me complacent in society. Like some people get into real conspiracy theory shit when you can get into like I don't have free will, I don't exist, blah blah blah. I'm not.
I ain't saying hell no, bitch. I exist. I exist. Nah,
I
I
don't
do.
fall into that, but I do think there is always going to be a level of non control in your life to where you may have free will now, but where you are now, you had no choice over. So, yes, in the current moment, you might have free will, but you did not always have free will. And so, in some way or another, you're not fully free, as many philosophers or people would say. Now, another point I want to make is a lot of people say they love the idea of like fate, like, oh, you guys were meant to be together.
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like I feel like fate is always good. Oh, hold on. What they say? One said, okay, okay. He says, I know we have free will, And although it sounds as if it contradicts to my knowing of having free will, I do believe in fate. Okay, hold on. He say, I know we have free will, and although it sounds if it contradicts to my knowing of having free will, I do believe in fate. So he says he know he has free will, but he does believe in fate. I don't know. I don't think I could. I can't think of. Like I can't say. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. It's weird. That's a weird thing about it. It's like, okay, yeah, I do believe we have free will, but do I really believe that fate is a thing though? I don't think I really think that I can't, bro. For the simple fact of like, that's predetermined. Free will is nothing like that. Free will is random as hell.
It was predetermined by God. It was made by this. It was made by that. But if you fall into that and you say like this was fate-based, how the fuck can you believe in free will? I don't understand that.
That's what I'm saying, big bro, big Joe. That's what I'm saying to it. I don't know. Obviously, now you could believe in both, but I just don't know how. Like I can't conjure in my mind how to believe in both.
And I understand my own personal take. I have, this belief that I have free will now, but there's things that I had no control over prior, and that's kind of affected me to where I am now. But I think that's different from saying there's certain points in my life that will always be fate-based and certain things that won't. Because that skews the idea of what is free and what's not. What if I'm meant to be with a specific partner, then all of my life decisions prior to that individual experience
lead up to that
were not chosen by me because they had to line up perfectly for me to end up with that individual. Or, not even just lining up with a partner, the job you may have, where you're going to end up, when you're going to die.
Like if a nigga slap you, like maybe if that nigga ain't slap you, you wouldn't be the man or person you are today if he ain't slapped the shit out you, bro. Feel me? Just saying, bro. Like if bruh ain't take your bid, you wouldn't have hit the gym. Facts, bro.
Like if those things are fate-based, everything leading up to that, to the individual last choice that made you have that fate-based experience not up to you. Because you could say I had free will up until this last choice and that choice was fate-based. And I don't know if I'm making sense by saying this. Let me rewind, okay? Say rewind, big bro, rewind. 5 years from now to get chocolate ice cream at a fucking ice cream parlor. As trivial as that may seem. Say I believe that. And everything else I believe, I have the freedom of choice. But I can't, because every experience that I've had will change my contemplation to where even a small, minute experience in my future will have been affected by every other experience I had prior. So if I believe in fate 10, 20, 30 years from now in a major part of my life, then I didn't have free will for many or all of the things prior. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% true in this. I'm not like.
I mean, you don't know, so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all of this is just speculation and what you believe. There's no right or wrong answer in any of this. Literally, because we can't prove it. We can't prove it. Simple as that. We can't prove it. We can't prove if free will is real. We can't prove if fate is real. We can't prove if destiny is real. We can't prove if we are bots. We can't.
That's true. But that's just how I logically perceive this. Now, going back to...
Hold on, babe, bro. Let me stop you. Let me say something. Let me say my piece. Okay. Oh, nah, that's weird. This is weird, bro. I'm trying to think of like a time where like my life turned around. No, anything can change your day though. Like say I don't know, you woke up late for school. Boom. What am I trying to say? You woke up late for school. Say you had to wake up at 8. You woke up at like 9. Now you're late. So now you're rushing out the door. You forget your key. You got to go back in the house. As soon as you go back in the house, fucking, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I was about to, wait, no. You go back in your house. Fucking alien come down. I don't know what I'm saying.
Another
I'm dead ass. I
philosopher's
don't know what I'm
take.
saying.
Friedrich Nietzsche.
I was gonna say like, okay, look, you go in the house, an alien come out, abduct your neighbor, right? But they were gonna abduct you, but you had to go back in the house because your key, because to grab your key, because you forgot your key. I don't know why you didn't lock your door. I don't know, but you had to go back in the house to get your key. The alien came down and it abducted your neighbor, but it didn't abduct you. Is that was that your fate, or was that, I don't know, bitch? What am I saying? Let me.
does not really believe in free will at all,
Like,
and
bro,
basically
niggas
says
be
that
thinking they
it's
smart, bro. I
wrong
don't
to
know.
believe in free will because that assigns us guilt and responsibility for moral actions when in reality we've had no choice over, the choices and experiences in your life. And it's confusing because he says that alongside of the idea that morality is a necessary illusion for societies to function. But those things kind of clash. And Friedrich Nietzsche is one of my favorite philosophers. But
Nah,
he
he
does
mine too. That's my
contradict
favorite
himself
saying.
a lot.
That's my favorite saying.
And you could say that, morality being a necessary illusion is in itself human-made and also predetermined and not, free will based. It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand how he can say that there's no moral responsibility, but morality is also human-made. I don't know. Maybe it's...
Huh? Or it's more right. I mean, I don't think morality is morality. I don't think morality is human-made. What? So the higher of both, innate foundation. Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't say that morality is human-made. I think that's just like something we just automatically have. I don't know. Like it's like, yeah, like part of human nature. Like I wouldn't say that morale is human made. Considered a hybrid of both innate foundation and social construct, where humans are hardwired for empathy, cooperation, specific moral rules, values, definition of good or bad, developed and refined through culture, society, and individual experience, not solely a human invention, but its expression is. I don't know about those. Bro. It's crazy. Pause. Hold on, I gotta say it back. Cause what did he say? He said, "I know we have free will, and although it sounds as if it contradicts to my knowing of having free will, I do believe in fate." Oh, I'm the opposite, big bro. I don't understand how we can have free will, but also fate being real. I want to believe both exist, but I feel if one does, the other can't. I say I'm the opposite, big bro. I understand we have free will, but also free will. Wow. Also fate being real. I want to believe both exist, but I feel if one does, the other can't. Dang. Talk with the
does
bros.
make sense. I'm like actively trying to contemplate this because whenever I read his takes on free will, I disagree with them. But
I want to see like philosophers' takes on free will. Philosopher, how you spell that? Philosophers' takes on free will. I want to see like what they say. Okay, classical view: the ability to do otherwise. Your consciousness mind actually created that decision. Example of philosophers who believe this. What was the name? Plato and Asta La Vista. I think Kant thought this way as well, but Kant is hard to understand. I'm very underread on him. Okay, I gotta see what they're talking about. So Plato view on free will. We just gonna go like, you feel me? We gonna go Hasta La Vista view on free will? Okay, so Osvaldo argued that humans possess a form of free will rooted in rational deliberation, voluntary action, and moral responsibility. He believed that an individual had the power to choose their actions, which over time shapes their character as either virtuous or vicious. My fault. Voluntary actions are those where the agent is the source and aware of the circumstances. Okay. Plato has a concept of individual metaphysical freedom, making him a key figure. I don't get it. Yes or no? Oh, Einstein. Wait, what was Einstein? He wasn't a philosopher, right? But Einstein did not believe in free will. Identified as felt human actions, thoughts, and feelings are as bound by cause and effect of celestial bodies. Famously stated, such as I do not believe free will. Okay. Damn, bad words. The difference between two is a classic view. You have the common liberation view, where the person is themselves, okay, the actual thing which made that decision, and what many people who commonly call themselves determinists see as an important question of free will. Did we actually create this choice, or are we just complex biological computers? Spitting, I guess. Ooh, so be clear. The question would be. Oh god, we could really get like mad deep in that joint. We could get mad deep. We could get mad deep. We get mad deep. It could get mad deep. It could get mad deep.
I agree with his
It could get mad
understanding of
deep. It could get
morality
mad
and that
deep.
it's a necessary illusion for society to function. I think morality is something that humans need to live and prosper together. But it's not something that exists outside of humans, and it's not something that exists in the universe elsewhere. But to say that free will doesn't exist, and therefore we're not also responsible by any margin for our own choices, I think is outlandish, because then you're getting into like an anarchy where anything that I ever do, I'm not held responsible to. And I don't think that's true. I think that there's a level of leeway in the choices that you make to where all of your experiences in your life led you up to that moment. But to say that you hold 0%, like if I go out and stab somebody and then just say, oh, I had no free will, it was a human-based desire, I had to do it. Like, that's crazy. I think you could have some level of like percentage-based margin where it's like, hey, this is, I'm an animal, but I'm also a human. That's why I like Hegel's take, because Hegel's basically saying that, free will arrives from my capacity to self-realize, to understand my own consciousness and my surroundings, but at times I still fall in.
Hegel views free will not, Hegel views free will not as an innate abstract capacity to choose, but as a developed rational process achieved through conscious action in the world, linking it to ethical life and historical development. Hegel's freedom is self-determination, where individuals realize their potential by aligning their desires with rational laws and social institutions. Rational self-determination. True free will involves the individual acting according to reasons that they understand and accept, rather than being driven by mere impulses or external constraints. The role of society. Freedom is realizing the world through social and ethical structures like the family, civil society, and the state, where individuals find themselves reflected in a rational, shared, and communal life. Freedom as process. Free will is a dynamic process of development, not a static possession. It evolves through history, with individuals understanding their role within broader context of social and legal systems. So Hegel criticized the simplistic view that free will is just selecting between options, which he considers a lower abstract form of freedom. So Hegel moves beyond the compatibilism versus incompatibilism debate by arguing that true freedom is the realization of reason within the objective world. Okay, so okay, I'm a little, you feel me, but basically is what he's saying, that your freedom comes from you understanding that, like understanding that you can make your own choices. Like you understand things. Like you understand shit. I don't know.
Into those animalistic
I
tendencies,
think
because
like
at
you
the end of the day,
understand. Like he
we
said for a
are
reason. Like you
like an animal
understand
trying
shit.
to separate from, I
Mm.
guess, not our body, but separate from how we are physically and move to a more higher power based way of thinking. I'm yapping right now. I think the way that I perceive free will too is very involved in my own existence. And the quote, "I think, therefore I am," from Descartes, I think really is involved with this specifically, rather than just my own existence. Because if I don't have free will, it's not that I don't exist, but I'm not capable of making my own sound decisions. If I can't choose anything I do in my life and everything for myself is predetermined, then every thought that I have isn't my own. It's been given to me or assigned to me by either God or the universe or anything, and I don't think that's true. And I think for me, my free will and the way I perceive it is, yes, I'm skewed by every experience I've had prior to my own, but I don't think it's a higher power that's kind of puppeteering my own life. I think it's just the circumstantial, sequences of events that I had no choice over that kind of impact my entire life. Because, the first 4 to 10 years of your life, you're not really choosing the majority of the things that you do. They're given to you by the people prior to you, which had also been given to them by the people prior to them. And so I think it's kind of a chain of events that impact your own decision-making and kind of put you on a path that you had no choice over, rather than a higher being or the universe in general predetermining all the individual things that I will experience in my life. Even if I was able to contemplate that, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to say we have no free will whatsoever. I could rather get behind the idea that I don't exist, but I have free will, than the opposite. Then I do exist, but I don't have free will. Because you could tell me I'm in a simulation, but in this simulation, I'm still capable of making my own sound decisions, versus I exist in a real universe, but everything that I do is not my own. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I think your choices in life are a combination of complex factors that put you in the exact place at the exact time that you have to make that choice. And in that moment of that choice, you don't have, free will.
I'm really thinking though, like, I'm really thinking right now, buzzing, like, damn, man, this shit is crazy, bro. This shit get real, bro. Like,
Because you're going to innately choose something based on the contemplation and experiences you had prior. But I think in those contemplations, you do have free will, which impact your choices later on, which gives you some level of free will. I don't know if I made sense.
damn.
And I say that a lot in my philosophy videos, but I've come to realize more and more in making these that it is very hard to convey my ideas, whether it be written or verbal. And I've had conversations with other people that love philosophy, and I think they say the same thing. And not like it's some mushroom trip and I had this realization that I couldn't convey in words because I was in a different hallucinogenic mindset, but more that something that makes sense to me is hard to convey in words. A lot of the things that I understand feel true in a more feel-based way than words. And I really got to get better at it. It's so hard to, and that's why I think that a lot of philosophers spend decades of their lives writing, 3 books, because the idea might make sense to them, but a way that I'm able to convey that to another person where they will get it is hard. And that kind of goes back to the idea that nobody's ever going to be able to understand you fully. Nobody's ever going to be able to understand your life and your experiences. And I think that even, goes back to even more free will and more of an argument that you are your own individual with your own choices and your own, capability of thinking, because you're never going to be able to contemplate in the same way that I am, and I'm never going to be able to contemplate in the same way you are, because we've had different experiences and we perceive things in different ways. So me trying to be able to give you, I guess, the 100% experience that's going on in my brain right now in my own consciousness is almost impossible. And so I think even if that's not an argument for free will, it's an argument for the uniqueness of individuals. Your individuality is something that can never be replaced. And even if we are, random animals in this universe that'll cease to exist in, fucking 60 years, no one will ever be able to be you, regardless of whether or not you are a puppet.
It's facts. It's facts. You're mad different. Facts. You're mad different. Yeah.
Or a cog in a machine.
Appreciate the lift up, for real.
Or whether or not you are your own unique human
Appreciate
that is
up.
capable of, choosing and living the exact life that they want to live with no outside, I guess, hindrances or manipulations. So, yeah, I don't really know if I fucking covered this idea very well. I could go into more philosophers like Hume and Spinoza and shit, but they all fucking say the same thing in different ways. And sometimes they go into other, like Wittgenstein goes into like, I guess, a more word-based argument. It's very hard to explain what he's trying to say. I don't understand a lot of the shit that he says. And I think I also got to preface that I'm not that good of a philosopher. I have a degree in philosophy, but I'm not like some guy that reads, fucking a book a week. Like, I read philosophy. I love learning about it. I love thinking about it. But I think I'm a very, I guess, responsive individual. I love hearing takes and giving my own opinion rather than, like, I guess, studying the takes of other people for hours on end. But I still do it because I know that it's able to strengthen my own beliefs or obviously change them. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you want me to talk about next, and I will see you in the next one.
Nah, he giving out good ones. He got some more. Let me see if he got some more, though. That's just crazy. Bro, that just changed my shit, bro. That,